Hey guys, I'm Andrei, a certified translator and a real estate concierge. Today we're talking about frauds, which is one of my favorite subjects. Over the last 3 years I've been relocating people to Belarus quite successfully. I'm dealing with immigration and real estate, and moreover I'm dealing with all these things officially, involving certified professionals where I have to, so this is a big official thing for me. After tourism, unfortunately, moved out of the country in 2020. After people move to a different country, the routine starts. After the immigration and real estate issues have been handled, they start investing money, they start working out their way in the new country, mostly working online, some invest locally. And this is the case when a man decided to put in some money into a business in a legitimate way. There was a little contract drawn, generally not much paperwork, and the partners who were introduced to him by a certain blogger who is now in Latin America. Well, we may or may not blame bad karma for that, but the thing happened, like it happened to me in 2018 on my separate private account. So I was very keen and very enthusiastic about helping him through this and seeing how it may work with or without involving the law enforcement, and ideally getting some money back. We succeeded partially, but it's not my kind of success. So this video is about what you may want to do, what you may not want to do if you get to a case of a debt that is not being returned to you. Before we proceed to the current story, which is about the Mosanty brothers, I apologize if I got the name wrong, but many of you who know of these guys may recognize these guys. There won't be any pictures, maybe just one. There won't be any specific name references. I have all the paperwork on hand should they decide to go and sue me in court. I would love that to happen. And before we get down to the story, I would like to remind you that I'm really badly wanting to meet one of my subscribers, Zia Khan, a Pakistani national whose passport and residence expired in 22, who actually was one of the fraud cases against my client that resulted in a loss of more than 25,000 US dollars, 20 for the permanent residency, which he could never deliver, and 5 for the companies, which were basically not very working, let's say, not very helpful. If you have any information about his whereabouts in Minsk and he likes to keep to the shades because he knows we are chasing his ass, please call the police or let me know, and I will call the police and we'll try to refresh their memory about his wrongdoings. That would be very helpful. So the background is quite simple. In May 22, my client lended the money to the two brothers whom he met at a cricket match. It may sound funny. In Minsk, introduced by the wonderful, colorful blogger who ran away recently, all of them Indians. And they introduced him to a restaurant owner, and all the three shook hands, all the four. The two brothers, the restaurant owner, and the client shook hands about $40,000 invested. Investment contract drawn up, certain share of profit going to the client as interest. And if he is not happy with something, the 3rd of October 2022 was the deadline when the money was to go back to him. And of course one could ask himself a question: how could a business basically dealing in food in the city of Minsk get back $40,000 just in case the investor wants it back? It's a very interesting proposal, but he accepted. They shook hands, and even the first wire of interest occurred in the city of Minsk. And after that, the dividends were not paid anymore, so he addressed me, and we decided to look into the matter and see what could be done with a couple of lawyers, not even just one lawyer of mine. And as it happens, after a while of not being paid any dividends, the man started asking questions like, guys, what do we do? And after the guys didn't really produce any assuring answers, we held a meeting on the 15th of September. There was a witness from my side, a lawyer that we invited from our side. The brothers didn't really bother to do anything like that. On the contrary, the brothers were there to claim a receipt that the guy was actually paid some interest, and that was provided on the spot. At the meeting, all the three, including the unpleasant Sri Lankan restaurant owner, nodded their confirmation of the obligations written down in the contract. Yes, they would definitely return all the $40,000 as per the contract. Apparently on the 3rd of October. Apparently they knew that on the 15th of October the guy's residency is running out, and were just smiling and nodding and just whiling their time while the deadline was approaching. And Kavaljit, my client, left almost on time on the 15th, leaving me certain documents to operate with, and from that point on I started pushing the harder line. There are several ways to push somebody who has outstanding obligations to deliver them, and we decided to go, let's say, with the simplest moves. We took them to the police a couple of times. They showed up and confirmed in writing their obligations, and I would say that was not the most smart move on their side. As the brothers realized, or actually one of the brothers, because one of them got deported on the way, the news we got from the mutual friends, as the brothers realized that the police were not necessarily super helpful and the matter was about to go to court, we kindly notified the tax office that they have outstanding obligations, and this end of March they have to declare their winnings. Basically one single brother who is not technically deported, and he'd had to pay 13% off the money that he has not returned, which is around $5,000. I don't think he has $5,000 or any interest to respect that. So he will not be very interested to come from whatever wedding he went off in mid-February this year. So on my side, there was the very last touch on the case. As an official operator, I submitted an application to the Department of Migration to basically look into this matter, because the guys were questioned at the police, and the Moskovsky District Taxation Office knows about their tricks, let's say. And this would be the happy end of their travels to Belarus and Russia for 5 years, because we just have a joint program of kicking out bad guys, and this may work against them pretty much. So I hope. So if the only one of them who left and who has not been officially deported yet comes on a visa, he will find out whether or not he has a 5-year ban. There are two interesting, perhaps cultural things that I learned from this thing. The brothers were pulling a very, very big game, like, do you know what family we come from? Apparently their father opened or closed the doors at the Prime Minister office somewhere, so when the family actually learned of the brothers' tricks, and they were very unkeen to let us know where the family lived, we had to find out on our devices in India, my client did. They were like emotional and blah blah blah, and we recognized, but as I know, they haven't really paid any serious money back to my client, although all the evidence is on hand. So all this BS with the family is a bit of a nonsense. And the personal touch to this conflict, which became personal to me after these guys just lied to me straight face to face and were behaving in a fairly unpleasant way, I would say impolite way, and that got me very enthusiastic to see the story to the end. Although it's kind of obvious that getting them kicked out of the country and banned for 5 years is not necessarily a profitable solution, but after maybe 20, oh, we'll get your money next week, tomorrow, next month, blah blah blah, we have another customer in line, that got us pretty sick and tired, and the client gave me a green light for that. And one more thing to point out, their website is rather colorful. They have the so-called Scintillating Group, the so-called because it says it's based in Belarus, but to be based in Belarus, a company has to be basically registered in Belarus as a branch of a foreign enterprise, which is not the case. They have their address on the website, and there's not even an office number, and the office guys that I got to inquire about them, they know nothing about such a company. The Google search produces no results for Scintillating Group Minsk, while they're trying their best to present themselves as the leading travel agency in Belarus. That's laughable part. As an event company management, as a business startup company, which has the deepest understanding of blah blah blah, I'll put it over here, and a few other colorful things. So my own company has no website. I only have social media links. I'll put the links down below, by the way, for you to follow my activities, for you to see the announcements for the expat meetings, where you can actually sit at the table and, with me or without me present, ask the people about the best solutions to relocate to Belarus. And that would be the best way to get the knowledge about the operator you're about to be dealing with. I don't believe in websites. I don't believe in shiny offices, which could be rented for a day. Business cards or all the other crap, guys, it's all online today. It's all about the job on hand and the money paid for each stage of the job completed for you. If you have a plan to relocate to Belarus, maybe live here temporarily for a year or something, I'll be happy to help you as an operator on the ground with offering a wide spectrum of services from immigration, visa support and stuff like that to real estate and other related solutions. Point is, the major of my company is not to sell properties, specifically neither village houses or apartments. We are selling solutions, and that makes us capable and competitive compared to other operators like legal firms or whatever. That was Andrei from Minsk. Donation links are down below. You can comment, you can push likes or dislikes. Strangely enough, there's just one single guy pushing dislikes now. And the feedback of any kind, constructive, is very welcome. If you have any simple, general questions, put them down below. Otherwise, I'm happy to run an online consultancy for you for relocation, travel, or for whatever matters about Belarus that you have in mind. Thank you and cheers from Minsk. See you later.